Welcome to the Sprite Cup Series Season 5. After several months of nothing, after Season 4, we are finally back with the first points-paying race of Season 5. The first official race of Season 5. The traditional season opener, the Daytona 500. It's a beautiful day for racing. Let's take a look at your drivers to watch for. Ross Chastain qualified on pole for today's race. He had an abysmal season last year, hoping to turn that around this year. Alex Bowman, starting on the outside pole for today's race. He almost won his duel race, but lost it on the last lap to Austin Cindric. Kyle Larson, winner of Duel 1, beat Ross Chastain on the final lap, and Joey Logano. He passed Ross Chastain right as the white flag flew and battled a hard-charging Joey Logano and got the better of him. Austin Cindric, winner of Duel 2, won it from Alex Bowman with a last lap pass. Rookie Ryan Preece, hoping to make a name for himself and have a good first impression for his boss Tony Stewart. Denny Hamlin, super speedway ace and former winner of the Daytona 500 in real life. He hopes to win today and add a Sprite Cup Series Daytona 500 to his list of triumphs. Rookie Ty Gibbs taking over the 18 from the departing Kyle Busch. He hopes to make a good first impression for his grandfather, team owner Joe Gibbs. Daniel Suarez was last year's Daytona 500 winner, hoping to defend that crown today. Kevin Harvick, defending series champion, looks to defend his title against 24 other hungry drivers in his final season of full-time Sprite Cup Series competition, hoping to win the Daytona 500 before he calls it quits. Bubba Wallace, super speedway ace. Expect him to plow his way through the field here today. Noah Gragson was doing extraordinarily well in his duel, but got shuffled back on the last lap. Starts deep in the field today. Brad Keselowski, winner of the Busch Clash last weekend, starts deep in the field as well, hoping to make his way through the field. He's also a super speedway ace. Eric Almirola, former winner of the Daytona 500 all the way back in Season 2. Won it from 18th on the grid. He knows how to win the Daytona 500 from deep in the field. Can he do it again today? Kyle Busch in a new ride for Richard Childress Racing, hoping to resurrect that team and restore it to its former glory. 2 years ago, Martin Truex Jr. was the winner of the Daytona 500 in Season 3. He hopes to repeat that today. Chase Elliott was the first ever winner of the first ever Sprite Cup Series Daytona 500 all the way back in 2019. He hopes to win it again. Now let's go trackside for the command.
Driver, start your engines!
Cars fired up and roll off for 20 laps around the World Center of Racing. Now let's look at your starting lineup. In row 1, it is Ross Chastain and Alex Bowman. Row 2 is your dual winners, Kyle Larson and Austin Cindric. Inside, row 3, Penske teammates of Joey Logano and Ryan Blaney. Row 4, William Byron and Christopher Bell. A couple of Ford teammates in row 5, Harrison Burton and Ryan Preece. And it's a couple of Joe Gibbs teammates in row 6, Denny Hamlin and rookie Ty Gibbs. Then we have Daniel Suarez and Kevin Harvick in row 7. Row 8, it's Bubba Wallace and Austin Dillon. Then in row 9, it's rookie Noah Gragson and veteran Brad Keselowski. Then in row 10, it's Chase Briscoe and Eric Almirola. Then in row 11, it's former Joe Gibbs teammates Kyle Busch and Martin Truex Jr. Row 12, couple of Chevys, Eric Jones and Chase Elliott. And rounding out the field in row 13, it is Chris Buescher. We are finally ready to officially start Sprite Cup Series Season 5. They come into the tri-oval, the pace car pulls off, the green flag is in the air, Season 5 is underway. Field 2x2 as they're around Daytona. Here they come into the tri-oval. Ross Chastain leads the first lap. He'll pull up to the high side. Oh, almost gets himself turned trying to go back to the bottom. Now Alex Bowman will take the lead and lead that lap with Kyle Larson behind him. Field still 2x2 as they round the World Center of Racing. Here they come to lap 4. Oh, trouble! Christopher Bell hard into the wall! Tags Ty Gibbs! Ty Gibbs hard into the wall! Couple of Joe Gibbs Racing teammates involved in this accident. Caution is out. The 20 of Christopher Bell. Heavy damage to that nose. So too Ty Gibbs. He hit that outside wall a ton. Let's take a look at what happened. Oh, Bell just got bumped from behind by Ryan Preece. Aggressively at that. Hit the outside wall hard, came back down the racetrack, tagged the 18 of Ty Gibbs, sent him into the outside wall head on. Here it is again. Yeah, just aggressive bump drafting. Big bump from the 41, got the 20 out of shape. Sent him into the outside wall, and then back down the racetrack, catching his teammate. Tough break for both of them. They're out of the race. And here they come for pit stops. Bowman leads them down. They'll take 4 fresh tires and a full load of fuel, as Kyle Larson just barely beats out Alex Bowman to win the race off pit road. Noah Gragson will be the last car off of pit road. We're ready to restart on lap 7 out of 20 here in the Daytona 500. Ross Chastain will be your new leader for this next restart. Green flag is back out. Here comes Austin Cindric on the outside with a push from his Penske teammate Ryan Blaney. Logano will join them. So now it's a Penske 1-2-3 as Austin Cindric leads that lap. Front 4 single file as they round Daytona, riding on board with Austin Cindric as he parades the field around the World Center of Racing. Here they come down the backstretch and into turn 3 and 4. Oh, around goes Eric Jones. Catches his teammate. And I believe Austin Dillon got a piece of that as well. Caution is back out. The Legacy Motor Club teammates of Eric Jones and rookie Noah Gragson involved in this one. Eric Jones with significant damage to the nose of that car. And Noah Gragson, he looks okay. I think he may be able to drive it back. And he does. He'll drive it back to pit road. What happened? Oh, Jones got tapped from behind by Brad Keselowski. spun down to the apron, then came back up onto the racing surface, tagged his teammate, and poor Austin Dillon got a piece of it as well. He bumped him in that transition where the flat backstretch becomes a banked curve. These cars become really sensitive when they go over that transition. They don't really like getting tapped from behind. That might have been a contributing factor in this mess. Tough break for him. He's out of the race. And there's Austin Dillon and Noah Gragson getting repairs. As Austin Cindric will lead the field down pit road. Austin Cindric wins the race off pit road. Chase Briscoe will be the last car off of pit road. Austin Dillon and Noah Gragson have repaired their cars, and they'll restart at the tail end of the field, both one lap down. We're ready to restart with 9 laps to go here in the Daytona 500, where we've passed the halfway mark. Kevin Harvick will be your new leader for this next restart. Green flag is back out. Inside lane gets the jump here on the restart. Bowman goes up to collect his teammates. That gives Kevin Harvick and Ryan Preece a lane. But now the Hendrick teammates are starting to fall back a bit as Bowman falls to third as Ryan Preece moves up to second. Field flies by down the backstretch. And there's Dillon and Gragson straggling behind. And we come into the tri-oval again. Harvick parading the field around Daytona. 1 wide goes to 2 wide, goes to 3 wide. Oh! Wreck between the lapped cars! Caution is out. The 42 of Noah Gragson, heavy nose damage to that car. So too the 3 of Austin Dillon. Big damage to the both of them. Let's take a look at what happened. They were battling for the free pass position. Oh. Gragson tried to make a move. Dillon blocked. Or tried to block at least. And made the move too late. Ended up putting himself in the wall. And inadvertently collecting Noah Gragson. Here it is again. Yeah, Gragson moved down, then tried to cross him over. Dillon tried to block. Couldn't do it. Made the move too late. Ends up collecting both of them. So now neither of them will get the free pass. Tough breaks for the both of them. They'll be out of the race. And Harvick will lead the field down pit road. Alex Bowman wins the race off pit road. Bubba Wallace will be the last car off of pit road. We're ready to restart with 4 laps to go here in the Daytona 500. Austin Cindric will be your leader for this next restart. Green flag is back out. Penske teammates all link up and they break away from the rest of the field. But here comes two tandems with a big hit of steam, and around goes the one! Up in front of the field, and the one's upside down. Big wreck coming out of turn 4. It's the big one. The 12 of Ryan Blaney was involved in that. Heavy damage to the front and rear. The 1 car of Ross Chastain upside down. The 22 of Joey Logano was also involved. The 6 of Brad Keselowski, winner of the Clash last week. Chase Elliott will not win his second Daytona 500. And Alex Bowman, outside pole sitter. The crash that we had hoped would not happen, and 6 cars are torn up. That started happening before they even got to turn 3. So, the tandems of Byron and Almirola and Chastain and Busch came with a big head of steam. Chastain moves to the middle and then tries to go back down to the bottom to try to block Kyle Busch, but made the move too late. Turns himself in front of the whole field and causes this melee. Here it is again. Yeah. Turns himself, tags Austin Cindric, gets piled into by Logano and Keselowski, then Elliott, and then Bowman. Nowhere to go for those guys. Everyone else takes evasive action. Blaney looked to have gotten through that, and then Cindric came down the racetrack, and Blaney T-boned him. That happened so fast. I don't think most of these guys even had time to react, but most of them were able to make it through. As you see, Austin Cindric was able to refire and drive away from the scene of the accident. So, he'll be alright. But for the other 6 guys, yeah, to the garage for them. Lot of good race cars. Looks like Briscoe got a piece of that as well on the left front. Looks like he's the one that got the least amount of damage in this wreck. So he'll be able to continue. Extensive cleanup here at Daytona. The red flag has been brought out, and the field has been stopped on the backstretch. There's Chase Briscoe. He was involved. Not that much damage to that car, though. Just a little dent on that left front. That's an easy fix. Cindric might take a little more repairs to fix, but bodywork doesn't look too mangled, so he should be fine. Let's have another look. Chastain trying to block 2 lanes at once. Couldn't do it. Tried to do something that a lot of other drivers have done in the past. Couldn't pull it off. Triggers the big one. You just can't block 2 lanes at once. It's not possible. And Chastain pays the price for it. Going upside down. And here it is in real time. The big one at Daytona takes out 6 race cars. There's Ross Chastain. He'll be pulled onto the flatbed, straight to the garage, and after this race, to the race car graveyard. It's a tough break for all of them. There, out of the race. Now the red flag has been lifted. We're back under yellow flag condition. As there's Cindric and Briscoe on pit road, getting repairs. As Byron will lead the field down pit road, and Kyle Busch opts not to pit. These guys were on the, I believe, the one-stop strategy. And Kyle Busch will not be pitting. Everyone else opted to pit because they're really close on fuel. Because of the extra lap that's being added by the overtime. They would have easily been able to make it had this race gone the scheduled distance. But with an extra lap being added, they're not taking that risk. Kyle Busch will be the only driver to take the risk, as it's just one lap. So, if this race does go to the finish after this restart, Kyle Busch is going to try to make the fuel last. Bold move by him, but it's classic Kyle Busch. Austin Cindric and Chase Briscoe will restart at the tail end of the field, one lap down. We are ready to restart in overtime. Remember, it's a 2-lap shootout. If the leader takes the white flag under green, then the next flag ends the race, either the caution or the checker. If a caution comes out before the leader gets to the white flag, we'll line them up, and we'll do it again. We can do this all night if we have to. Unlimited attempts at a restart. Kyle Busch will be your new leader for this next restart. Green flag is back out. 2 laps to go here in the Daytona 500. Kyle Larson and Kyle Busch move up to the middle, and here comes Kevin Harvick and Ryan Preece to the bottom to make a move. Oh, around goes the 99 of Daniel Suarez and the 23 of Bubba Wallace. Caution is out. We'll have another restart. The 99 of Daniel Suarez in the grass. So too the 23 of Bubba Wallace. They'll be able to drive them away. What happened? Oh, Bubba just got bumped from behind by William Byron. Tag the 99 of Suarez. They both go spitting. And we'll go to a second attempt at overtime. This time, Kyle Busch has no choice but to pit. He can't make the fuel last any further than this. So, there goes his chances of winning the 500. But, Austin Cindric will take the free pass under this caution, and will be back on the lead lap. And since Briscoe didn't pit, he'll take the wave around, and will also be back on the lead lap. Unfortunately for Suarez and Wallace, they will restart in the tail end of the field. Both a lap down. We are ready to restart in our second attempt at overtime here in the Daytona 500. Kevin Harvick will be your new leader for this next restart. Green flag is back out. 2 laps of racing to go. Preece gives a massive push to Kevin Harvick. Truex moves down to the bottom to pick up his teammate Denny Hamlin, and they'll challenge Harvick for the lead. Here they come into the tri-oval to take the white flag. Harvick barely edges out Truex. And around they go on the back. No caution though. Here they come out of 3 and 4. Harvick is clear. He takes the victory in the Daytona 500 while the field crashes behind them. Big hits there at the end. 2 crashes on the last lap of the race. That just goes to show how much these drivers want the Daytona 500 victory. Austin Cindric led about half the laps today. Finds himself wrecked on the final lap. Kyle Busch probably the most heartbroken out of this. Had that caution not come out for Bubba Wallace and Daniel Suarez spinning, he probably would have won this race. Chase Briscoe, heavy nose damage to that car. So too Harrison Burton, innocent bystander in that deal. All of these guys were. Chris Buescher, wrecked after taking the checkered flag. Denny Hamlin, wrecked. Bubba Wallace, who was a lap down, was involved in this after crossing the start-finish line. Kyle Larson, involved. Eric Almirola was third when he got turned. William Byron, up against the wall. What happened? This is a replay of the first wreck. Briscoe tried to go down to the middle. Kyle Busch tried to block. Got turned, tagged. Austin Cindric, they both went up into the outside wall in front of Briscoe. Then Harrison Burton came along. Piled into the mess. And then come into the checkers. Kyle Larson gets turned by William Byron. Tags Almirola. Comes back up across the track. Takes out Denny Hamlin. Hamlin goes into the outside wall hard. Comes back down. Tags Chris Buescher. And then gets hit by Bubba Wallace. Couple of big impacts in that crash. And this wreck happened after the checkered flag flew. That's super speedway racing. Chaos. Kevin Harvick was able to survive the mayhem and win the Daytona 500 in his final Sprite Cup Series season. He'll take the checkered flag and burn it down. Congratulations to Kevin Harvick for winning the Daytona 500. Here are your final results. Kevin Harvick wins the Daytona 500, and rookie Ryan Preece finishes second, runner-up to his teammate. Eric Almirola, William Byron, Kyle Larson ran out the top 5, and they all wrecked, surprisingly. Martin Truex Jr., Denny Hamlin, Chris Buescher, Kyle Busch, and Chase Briscoe ran out the top 10. A lot of these guys wrecked. I think Harvick, Preece, Suarez, and Truex were the only 4 drivers that did not get involved in that last lap melee. And some cars crossed the finish line and then wrecked. And others wrecked as they went across the finish line. Boy, Gibbs and Gragson not having good rookie showings. But that's not their fault. They were victims of circumstance. And here are your point standings after today. Kevin Harvick, since he won the race, will assume the points lead, getting the maximum allowable 30 points. Ryan Preece in second, 6 points back. Generally the same as the finishing results, but with some differences, as some other drivers did get some bonus points from leading a few laps. So some of them will be one spot higher than their actual finishing position. Next week, we head to North Wilkesboro for the Tyson 400. The first points-paying race at North Wilkesboro since 1996. That's going to be a fun one. I hope you enjoyed this race. This is Brennan Gomez in the booth.